Hi everyone, welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Karen.
What are you doing?
We are starting now. I am Karen and you are?
I'm Shane.
Shane, you are late. You're like half an hour late.
What? I'm exactly on time.
No, because we changed the schedule and we were supposed to be here half an hour ago. Do you not remember that?
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
I have been sitting here for the last 30 minutes waiting for you.
I'm sorry. Next time I'll put a reminder on my phone.
Are you a goldfish or something? I can't believe you forgot.
Goldfish? What are you talking about?
Well, we all know that goldfish have like a 3 to 7 second memory, right?
Oh, that's an old myth.
What?
That's not true at all. Actually,
Is that a myth?
It
Really?
is a myth. That's been debunked for a long time. They have a
Really?
memory that's like, they can remember things for up to like 5 or 6 months, actually.
Are you serious?
I am serious. I remember that fact, but I cannot remember to get here on time.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
Well, in fact, today we're going to be learning about some popular history myths that have been debunked.
Ah.
I'm interested to find out what these are.
Okay, well, me too. Let's get into it.
Okay, sorry.
Here's a question. What do you know about Napoleon Bonaparte? If you're like most people, you'd likely say he was short, but he was actually 170 centimeters tall, an average height for the time. Let's take a look at some other examples of common history myths.
So we're looking at part 1 of popular history myths debunked. Okay,
I have
well,
a feeling there's
pretty
going to
interesting.
be quite a few of these because we're often mistaken about what happened in the past.
Exactly. Like we mentioned, like the goldfish have only like a 3 to 7 second memory.
right.
And you told me that that myth has been debunked.
Right. And you know another animal myth?
Okay,
When
what
you
is
think
it?
of dogs and you think about their ability to see. what do you
Oh, you mean like the fact that they are colorblind? They only see black and white. We all know that. That is true.
You said the fact that. No, it's not a fact. It's actually a myth. They can see color. They just don't see as many colors as we see, but they can still distinguish between other colors. It's not just black and white.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
Wow, okay. I guess there's a lot of things for me to learn.
Yeah, there's a lot of myths that we need to debunk. So let's
Okay.
look at some historical myths.
All right, let's do it.
Here's a question. What do you know about Napoleon Bonaparte?
If you're like most people, you'd likely say he was short.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been told too. So the first thing that comes to mind is that he was a short guy, right?
Yeah, if you see him depicted in movies or cartoons, he's like ridiculously short.
Exactly.
Right?
But
he was actually 170 centimeters tall. An average height for the time.
wait a second, 170 centimeters tall? That's not very short at all.
Yeah, maybe by today's standards, you wouldn't say he's tall. And he might be a little bit shorter than average, but at that time, that was an average height.
That's pretty average. You know, I think that's an average height maybe for people in Taiwan or for guys in Taiwan,
Right.
or maybe a little teeny tiny bit shorter.
So it depends on where you are, right? But in
Exactly.
fact, he wasn't that short. Let's take a look at some other examples of common history myths.
Ooh, that's what we'll be looking at today.
So we had a vocabulary word, average.
That's right, and that is an adjective. So we describe, you know, his height as average height. So when we're describing his height as average height means that's like the height for most of the people that around that time.
Or like a really common height.
Exactly. Right? So not too tall, not too short. He was average.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. So for example, the average age of the students in my class is 14. So I might have a lot of students in my class. Maybe some are a little bit
13,
younger.
some are 15, but
exactly.
most
but
are 14.
Most are 14 years old. That's right. So would you consider your height average?
I guess it's pretty average. Yeah.
Okay, I would consider myself pretty short. I think shorter than average.
You're shorter than average?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, why don't we take a break and learn about some other historical myths?
Let's do it.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文标题是 Popular History Myths Debunked。终结历史流言。标题里面这个 myth 它表示普遍但是错误的看法，没有根据的理论，那么常常就被音译为迷思。那么 myth 它还有神话的意思哦。而我们这边用到一个动词叫 debunk，D-E-B-U-N-K， 它表示破解或是揭穿。好，那么 Shane 老师用到形容词 mistaken， 就是在 mistake 后面加一个 and，mistaken 是形容词，可以形容是错误的、弄错的。好，那我们要破解的第一个历史迷思就是关于拿破仑的身高。大多数的人都以为他很矮，那么 Shane 老师就说，像在电影里啊，或是卡通里等等，拿破仑常常被描绘成比较矮的形象，可是其实他也有170公分高，是当时的平均身高。那么单字 average 它是形容词，形容平均的。Shane 老师用到 depict，D-E-P-I-C-T 这个动词表示描绘、描述、刻画的意思。接回课文中。
Marie Antoinette said, "Let them eat cake." Let them eat cake are the infamous words of French Queen Marie Antoinette. It's a common belief that she said this line upon hearing that the masses were starving and had no bread to eat. But Marie Antoinette never said these words. Although she lived a life of wealth, she was sensitive to the struggles of her people and was known as a generous queen. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Thomas Edison is often wrongly credited with inventing the electric light bulb. The light bulb's inventor was actually Warren de la Rue, and others tried to improve on his design. Edison's version was simply the first light bulb to hit the market, since his design could last for hours.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. So we've learned one myth, we've debunked one myth.
That's right.
Napoleon Bonaparte is actually not short.
He was actually average height
Right.
at the time, right?
So continuing on,
Okay.
Marie Antoinette said, "Let them eat cake." You've probably heard this before, right? So "let them eat cake" are the infamous words of French Queen Marie Antoinette. It's a common belief that she said this line upon hearing that the masses were starving and had no bread to eat.
So what does that mean by infamous? Like, does that mean like it's something not kind?
Yeah, it just means famous. Everybody has heard these words. They're infamous words.
And also a little bit mean, right? Let them eat cake.
That's pretty.
When the masses were starving and had no bread to eat. So we have this word mass, and it's a noun, and usually when we use it, it's the masses. You're referring to a large number of people.
Right.
So the masses were starving. That means a lot of people were starving. They had no food to eat. So for example, Robert's films are complex and not meant to be enjoyed by the masses. So not really meant to be enjoyed.
Yeah, most people are not going to enjoy that. Just a select few might think, oh, it's an interesting movie or something, right?
Exactly.
So that's kind of sad, right? She knows they don't have any bread, and she's like, well, they don't have bread.
Let them eat
cake. Of course they don't have cake. They're poor, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so they're starving, right? So to starve means that you have no food or no water, and you are suffering or going to die as a result of the lack of food or water.
That's right.
So, for example, the prisoner was left in the desert to starve to death, but he survived.
Oh, I see. And sometimes when people feel really, really hungry, they want to make sure they get their point across. Then you can also say, oh, I'm so hungry, I am starving. starving, right?
So a lot of times we exaggerate when we're saying I'm hungry. It's like you say I'm starving. It's kind of like in Chinese, 我饿死了.
Exactly, but it doesn't really mean you're really dying, but you just want to tell people that you are so hungry.
So hungry.
That's right. Okay, let's continue. But Marie Antoinette never said these words. Oh, so it was actually another myth. Although she lived a life of wealth, she was sensitive to the struggles of her people and was known as a generous queen. Okay, so we know that she actually never said it. So it was a myth. She was actually a really, really nice queen, a generous queen, right?
And she was sensitive to the needs, and she was sensitive to what the people, these masses, were feeling.
What does that mean?
So if you say you're sensitive, and this is an adjective, that means that you're highly aware of something.
That's right.
So if you're sensitive about others' feelings, that means you're really aware of, you pay attention to what other people are feeling.
Oh, I'm very sensitive.
Are you?
Yeah, if I see someone, their facial expression kind of change, I'll be like, oh, hey, something's wrong.
Me too.
Maybe she's sad. Maybe he's hungry. Or maybe, I don't know.
That's me too. A lot of times this is really stressful because you're so aware of how other people are feeling. Our example sentence. Carl is very sensitive to the needs of others.
Aw, and people actually sometimes like to be around people like that because they usually think about how other people are feeling, right? Okay, our next vocabulary word here is struggle. That's right. So she was sensitive to the
struggles of her people.
Exactly. That means like to experience difficulty. You know, going through some problems, and then so maybe it's some hardships that people are going through.
It takes a lot of effort to get through it, right?
Exactly.
You have to struggle through something. It sounds like it's very difficult to get through that thing.
And our example sentence, it says, Brianna talked honestly about her struggles with body image. So maybe she was feeling really uncomfortable with the way she looks. She might think, oh, maybe I feel a little bit chubby. I don't feel like my body looks really good. So, you know, she has to really deal with that kind of struggle.
A lot of people deal with that kind of struggle. Right?
Exactly.
Okay. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb.
We all know that's true.
Right?
It was taught in school, wasn't it?
Of course. So
Right?
to invent something means to think of something new. Right? A lot of times we mean something like a product or a technology or something like that. Our example sentence, I have no idea who invented the television. But we do know that, of course, Edison created the light bulb. He invented it, right?
That's what we learned in school, right?
Yeah.
But actually, Thomas Edison is often wrongly credited with inventing the electric light bulb. The light bulb's inventor was actually Warren De La Rue, and others tried to improve on his design.
De La Rue who? I've never heard of this guy. That's so sad.
Oh no, and he didn't get the credit for it. He was actually the inventor.
And nobody knows who this guy is.
Okay, so let's just say his name again so we remember him. Warren De La Rue. I'm so sorry, Warren.
Poor guy.
Oh my goodness.
Well, he's probably dead now.
Okay.
But maybe he can hear us from heaven. Okay. Edison's version was simply the first light bulb to hit the market.
Oh.
Since his design could last for hours.
Wait a second. So you said his design was the first to hit the market. Ow. What does that mean? What does that mean to hit the market?
The market or the marketplace just means that it's going to be sold and the public can buy that thing.
Oh,
right?
So that's why people always remember Thomas Edison and not Warren De La Rue.
Because he's the one who brought it out there. It's like, what? Whose light bulbs are these? And his picture's on there like, hey, I'm Edison.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Stole all the credit.
Okay. Well, you know, but he still has done something great for our society.
So obviously what we know about history, everything is wrong. We have to go rethink everything.
Well, not everything, but some of the things. But it's important to actually go back and then kind of recheck everything, right?
Right.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
人们普遍认为，法国王后 Marie Antoinette 在听到民众挨饿没有面包吃的时候，她说了 "Let them eat cake"， 让他们吃蛋糕这句恶名昭彰的话。没面包吃，那就吃蛋糕啊。好，那这其实是错误的迷思哦。我们这边先补充一下，文中看到一个单字，它是在 famous 前面加上 in， 可是要注意，它不是念作 infamous， 它也不是指不有名的，它的念法是 infamous， 而是形容不名誉的、声名狼藉的意思。好，那课文写到说 Marie Antoinette 她从来没有说过这些话，虽然她过着富裕的生活，可是她对人民的困苦挣扎体察入微，被称为仁慈的王后。好，单字 mass 它是当名词表示民众、平民、普通老百姓。当这个意思来解释时，固定用 the masses。好，再看 starve 这个动词呢，它可以表达使极度饥饿、挨饿或是饿死的意思。我们常常用夸张的方式来传达讯息、传递讯息，表达自己说超饿的、饿死了。这时候就可以说 I'm starving， 我非常饿，饿扁了。那刚刚说传递讯息 ，Karen 老师用到一个片语 get something across， 它就是可以指说传递什么，使什么什么被理解的意思。下一个单字 sensitive， 它是形容词，形容这是善解人意的啊、体贴的或者是敏感的。那我们用 be sensitive to 加名词就可以表达能够体恤什么的，对什么体察入微的。再看 struggle， 它是当名词来表达挣扎、努力、奋斗或搏斗。例句有谈到说，在身体形象方面的挣扎，我们人常常对外表感到很不自在。Karen 老师她这时候用到 uncomfortable， 在 comfortable 前面加上 un， 变成这个形容词就是不自在的、不舒服的。下一个历史迷思是爱迪生发明的灯泡，不是吗？好，爱迪生常常被误认为发明了电灯泡，可是灯泡的发明者其实是 Warren de la Rue 沃伦德拉鲁，其他人则是试着改善它的设计。那爱迪生的版本是第一款上市的灯泡，因为它的设计可以持续好几个小时。我们的单字 invent 它就表示发明，是个动词，在后面加上 or 变 inventor， 那就是发明家、发明者。这边两个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 upon 加上名词或动名词，这是表达一怎么样就怎么样。upon 是介系词，那么后面要接名词或动名词。如果你是把它拿来接动名词的话，这时候这个动作的行为者要跟你主要子句的主词对象一致哦。举例来说 ，Upon smelling the roasted chicken，my mouth started to water。我一闻到烤鸡的味道就开始流口水了，这不可能是别人闻到味道我流口水吧？好，再看下一个重点是 credit 某人或某事物 with 名词或动名词，这是表达认为什么什么是某人的功劳，将什么归功于某事。credit 在这边是当动词来表达将什么归功于什么，可能是成就啊、荣耀等等。举例来说。He credits his grandparents with inspiring his writing career. 他认为激励他从事写作呢是祖父母的功劳。那另外你也可以用 credit 加上名词或动名词 to 某人或某事物，像是 They credited much of their success to good luck. 他们将自己的成功大多归功于好运。好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Here's a question. What do you know about Napoleon Bonaparte? If you're like most people, you'd likely say he was short, but he was actually 170 centimeters tall, an average height for the time. Let's take a look at some other examples of common history myths. Marie Antoinette said, "Let them eat cake." Let them eat cake are the infamous words of French Queen Marie Antoinette. It's a common belief that she said this line upon hearing that the masses were starving and had no bread to eat. But Marie Antoinette never said these words. Although she lived a life of wealth, she was sensitive to the struggles of her people and was known as a generous queen. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Thomas Edison is often wrongly credited with inventing the electric light bulb. The light bulb's inventor was actually Warren de la Rue, and others tried to improve on his design. Edison's version was simply the first light bulb to hit the market, since his design could last for hours.
I'm Toi.
And I'm Matt.
And today we're playing Word Drop. So we each have 3 cards with words or phrases on them, and we have to try to casually work them into the conversation. Should I start or you start?
I can start the conversation,
Okay.
I guess. Let's take a look. Okay. Yeah, so all right, so recently I got a gift of a bunch of hot sauces. And and I really like hot sauce, so I wanted to, I have a whole range of hot sauces from pretty mild to the hottest you can take. So the one I have is so hot, and even though I think it's okay, I can actually handle it, but from what I've been told by others, the average person cannot take the spice.
Oh, I know I couldn't. I have no tolerance for spicy food at all. I grew up in Texas, and a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy when I say I don't eat spicy food. They're like, wait, but you're from Texas. Everyone eats spicy food because of Mexican food.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, I can't. So when you mentioned your gifts of hot sauce, I'm like, I would never, I would die. But it's funny that people think I should be able to eat spicy food just because I live in Texas, and oh, Texas invented Tex-Mex, and then Mexico invented Mexican food. So
okay, yeah, I think I got the tolerance for spicy food because my father liked to eat spicy food. So my father always had lots of hot sauce around and lots of chili peppers and stuff. And if my father was cooking, it was going to be very spicy, so I could either, eat that spicy food or I would starve.
Well, yeah, I understand. My mom and dad both loved cooking for my sister and I, and they would always say you're gonna sit here until you finish this plate. So I completely understand that. And so sometimes the struggle was real when I just didn't want to eat my vegetables, or I didn't want to eat this particular dish.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I think a lot of restaurants try to make foods not too spicy. And I usually want something more spicy when I go out to eat, especially if it's maybe Thai food or Mexican food, something that should be spicy. But I think a lot of the times they're not making it for someone who eats a lot of spicy food. They're making food for the masses.
Yeah, for people like me who can't eat spicy food. But I think it's good that these restaurants consider that, because people like me, I'm sensitive to spicy food. I just can't handle it at all. I will just cry just one little peck of one little drop of any spicy sauce or anything. I just can't.
Work on it.
See you next time.